So coal is something that has been in demand and in the limelight, so to speak. And it seems that it's this shortage of coal that has become really the center stage for everything right now. Is there really a looming energy crisis on the states of India and India at large? To talk about more on this issue, we have the chairman of Coal India Limited himself, Mr. Agrawal, joining us. Sir, first and foremost, humble thanks for you to be sparing time and joining us. But taking the question one by one, I have one question that it seems is on the mind of everybody right now. Sir, what exactly is the current situation with respect to coal? Is there really a crisis right now? And what exactly can be interpreted out of this supposed energy crisis, which the states have been crying foul about?
See, I'm restricting myself to the coal related to power sector, because you are talking about energy sector right now, I understand. There was shortage of coal in the months of August and September because the demand suddenly shot up. And it is not something very new. It happens every year when the supplies of the coal during these months is less than consumption of the coal. And that is why it is always requested that the stock at the powerhouse should be adequate to meet during these lean seasons. Because at that time, evacuating coal or producing coal becomes difficult because of the rainfall. This year, the rainy season extended beyond what is expected, and the summer was especially strong. The third factor which affected the coal stock was the increase in international price, because of which the producer which were supplying, which were based on imported coal, did not import coal, and that was to be met through domestic coal only, and that contributes about 8 to 9% of the total coal-based energy in the country. So that 10% extra was to be made by Coal India only, because Coal India is the largest producer of the coal in the country. But from October onwards, the things started improving. For the last 7-8 days, we have been supplying more than what is being consumed. Actually, at the current level of energy, where about 2.7 gigawatt energy is being consumed is being produced through thermal power, the requirement of energy would be ranging 18.5 lakh to 18 lakh tons per day. And we are supplying almost 20 lakh tons daily, including all other sources of the coal. So the supply for last 7-8 days have been more than the consumption. And in the coming days, the demand is likely to reduce because of reduction in the temperature. And production as well as dispatches are likely to further increase because everything is drying up. So, to my understanding, unless something goes wrong again, or if there is some, again, rainfall, very heavy rainfall in production area, there is nothing like energy crisis in the country. And frankly speaking, till now, there has been strong demand in the market for the power, but as such, general shutdown, general blackout, etc. has not happened. There might have been some blackout somewhere in some small places, but in general, we have been able to meet the demand. And when we say that the 4 days stock is there, it doesn't mean that after 4 days, the coal will end. We are continuously supplying, and that stock is building up. I think by the October end, the stocks at the power plant will be higher than what it was at the beginning of October.
But sir, then why is it that the states have been really, crying that there have been a shortage of coal, and it seems that the government of India is to be blamed? What really went wrong? I mean, if you were to talk about the reasons that perhaps led to this sudden shortage to talk about, what can you tell us about it?
I explained to you in the earlier answer also that there were 3-4 factors which affected the shortage, which created the shortage. But more than shortage, it was the perception of shortage which created the problem. Because of that, the demand in the market increased, and the exchange rate, the rate at which power is being purchased in exchange, which constitutes only 7-8% or 10% of the total energy, that became very high. And because of that, the financial impact on the state governments were very high. And because of that, they are complaining. But as such, Coal India has been supplying much more than what is expected of it. In August and September, if we compare with the normal year of 2019, we have supplied about 35 to 37% extra. In October, we are supplying almost 45% extra in general. It is not just coal power related. I'm talking normal dispatches from Coal India has been tremendous. So as such, there is no shortage of coal. And within 2-3 days, I think all these things will be over.
So, sir, by looking at what you're saying and hearing out what you're really answering to these questions, it seems that the coal shortage that was supposedly being built up is something that has been taken care of. But the states have been still saying that this is still a looming crisis. And from what we've read and what we know so far is that coal makes up for at least 70% of the electricity mix. Then what really goes into not just supplying these coals, but at the same time in ensuring that these thermal power plants get them on time as well, sir? What exactly goes behind the scenes in order to ensure that there is never a shortage of sorts? So what can you tell us about what all happens from the side of the Coal India Limited in order to ensure that these thermal power plants are always supplied to by with coal, and more importantly, the shortage that we've all been talking about, that's something that does not happen again?
See, Coal India produces the coal and brings the coal to the railway sidings or load it to the wagon. Thereafter, it is railways who take it to the power stations, and thereafter it is consumed. So that is the process in which Coal India has got more than about 40 million tons of stock. So coal shortage at Coal India level is not there. The railways have been moving very fast in the last 3-4 months. And there has never been a situation where railways have fallen short in providing the wagons, etc. There might have been small glitch here and there. We keep on monitoring it and we keep on removing it. But that thing general will happen if you are moving 18 lakh tons or 20 lakh tons of coal every day. Then some small problems will keep on coming here and there. But that is something very natural, and we jointly try to solve that. There is a committee headed by the Secretary Power who monitors it on daily basis, and if there is some glitch here and there, it gets resolved. This committee, yeah.
But I just wanted to intrude in between and ask you as to what exactly is the current supply rate by the CIL. What is the total coal in terms of million tons that is being supplied to various thermal plants?
See, as of today, about 20 lakh tons are being supplied to thermal power stations daily. That includes about 16.25 by CIL, 1.5 lakh ton from SCCL, that is Singareni Coalfield Limited, and 2.5 million tons from different other sources, which are captive power plants, etc. So about more than 20 lakh tons is being supplied every day. Whereas the consumption, as I mentioned, is in the range of 18 to 18.5. So if the supply is more than consumption, there is no reason why the problems should come in near future or ever.
Sir, you also spoke about the rising international rates which had essentially led to this sudden shortage being seen. What can you tell us about that? I would request you to just keep your answer brief. I can understand that from what I've managed to gather from your answers, that it was because of the imports and the sudden dependency of the import-based thermal plants on domestic fronts that also led to this shortage.
The thing is, they supply about 8% of the coal-based and imported power plants. Imported coal-based power plants supply about 8% of the total energy, thermal power-based energy requirement of the country. In the last 1 month, 1.5 months, they have been reducing their supplies constantly. Rather, in the last 3-4 months, they have been reducing their supply constantly. It is not that we have started giving them coal. Basically, if they stop supplying energy to the system, then that level of energy means that component of energy has to be replaced through some other power station, which is based on domestic coal. So the demand for domestic coal suddenly increased to that extent.
And sir, what can you tell us about the current stock of coal? I mean, since it was being said time and again that there is only a few days of coal stocks left, and there were also recurring reports coming in that after this there could be a possible energy crisis. India is looking at a impending energy crisis. There could be shortages, mass shortages at that. So, what can you tell us about the total coal stocks that are left, and if at all there is any worrisome point? For states or for that matter for anyone else?
See, the stock at the powerhouses is at four days level, which is not good. It has to improve, but it improves in the month of October and it improves very fast in the month of November. The stock at Coal India level is about 40 million ton, which is about 24 days of a stock. So it is, if the crisis comes, we can move from that stock also. Our production is also increasing. At this current level, we are Coal India itself is supplying something like 16.2 lakh ton every day to power sector alone. And the demand is about 18 lakh tons. So there is no reason to worry. Actually, the things will improve in coming days, and this everything which we are talking about, nobody will be talking after a week.
Sir, one of the things that also has been come to light, one of the very important things rather that has also come to light is a matter of fact that Coal India Limited had been writing to various power plants as well, asking them to build up on their stocks. What can you tell us about that? Whether there is some truth to that as well? Because it seems that you had already foreseen that there could be a power surge.
The thing is, in the last year, there was not adequate lifting from Coal India. On 31st March, we had a stock of 100 million ton, which was unprecedented. Carrying anything beyond that was difficult. It was affecting our production level also because there was no. So we were requesting them to build up stock at their level. Somehow, that thing didn't happen to the extent it was required. But if these 3-4 other factors would not have happened, no crisis would have emerged. That has happened, but that is now past. Let's try to build a system in which in future it doesn't happen.
Sir, there are also allegations on the CIL of mismanagement, and that it could be because of the poor handling of perhaps the coal stocks that resulted into something like this. What can you tell us about that?
See, CIL, I don't think that anybody can find any small fault with CIL. We have been requesting them to build up the stock at the time it was required to do that. Despite the fact many of the states did not pay our dues, our receivables increased from 7,000 crore rupees at one point of time to 23,000 crore rupees. But we never stopped the coal supply. And when the crisis came, we ramped up our dispatches. And as I mentioned earlier, in August and September, our dispatches were 35% higher than a normal year to 2019, a corresponding period. In October, again, we are dispatching something like 40% extra than what we were doing earlier. So saying that any mismanagement at CIL level has happened will not be fair.
Sir, it won't be fair for me to not ask with regards to the recent visit of the coal minister as well. And I'll just take a small question. The coal minister has also assured that, the recent supply of coal has reached to about 2 million tons as well. You have also said the same thing. But, what do you make of this sudden visit? Was it to, just to inspect, or what all really went there? Sir, I have to, really question you on that as well.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, coal minister, because there is so much of talk about crisis, he thought it prudent to visit the site and to motivate the people to increase more production so that country does not face any problem in the coming years. See, we import about 25% of our coal requirement, and we can meet the demand of power sector very easily. But meeting the increased demand of non-regulated sector or non-power sector might be difficult. So he is trying his best and motivating everybody so that we can improve our dispatches and production and go beyond what is targeted so that the country do not face any problem in the future. Basically, he is motivating and trying to interact with the people and trying to find out if there is some problem at the institutional level which can be removed.
And this brings me to my last question, sir. Something that it seems that every Indian is currently keen on you answering. That since the celebratory mood is on, since the festive season is underway, will this dampen the celebration? Could there be outages in the middle of this festive season at all? How do you respond to every Indian watching out there, specifically looking for this answer?
To my understanding and to my whatever I know about the coal sector, there cannot be any situation where there will be any outage in India.
So it is going to be once again a happy flavor when it comes to the festive season, sir. Sir, with that, I end this interview, and I humbly thank you for taking out time as well as speaking to us on India Today. Thank you so much, Mr. Agrawal. And for our viewers, there you heard from the chairman of Coal India Limited himself, very categorically answering all the questions and ensuring you that there is no shortage of coal. The demands are being met with, and it was due to several reasons that the reports which had come out, or the warnings that came out from the state governments, did eventually come out. So that was that. And for today, this is Mohit Sharma signing off from India Today.
Thank you very much, Mohit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.